let's see. Alright, I spent a lot of time thinking about something over the last couple of days since I actually got my bubble-later rotary system pretty much together. And there's a fair amount of drag at the moment. Not a lot, but I've got quite a bit of drag, and I want to bring the rotors closer together. I want to bring them in a little bit more, but the problem with that is I'll get more drag. So, how do we overcome that problem? How do we overcome drag? Now, let's explain it easily. Right, let's go over to these magnets. Right, you've got a set of magnets, okay. Now, as we all know, when you, let's start with, let's use the small magnets. Right, as we all know, if you bring two opposing magnets together, as you bring two similar magnets, let's say two north poles together, what happens is they repel each other, they push away. Now how can we use that to actually our advantage when we have a rotor magnet? We have a rotor magnet that's spinning at quite a high speed. Now let's go back to the big magnet. Now what happens when we get two pieces of metal? Hang on a minute. What happens when we get two pieces of steel on one pole of magnet? We stick one piece of steel on this magnet, right? Then we stick another piece of steel on the same magnet. Ooh, interesting. You see, that is on the same magnet, but it pushed the other one away, look. And that one pushed that one away, okay? Watch carefully, I'm giving away some secrets. Right. So, this magnet is the same magnet, and I've got two pieces of steel, and they're pushing away from each other, right? That means that we're using the same face, yet when I bring this piece of steel up, it pushes the other piece of steel away. And we can use that to our advantage. Now, if you've got two pieces of steel close together, let's say on the introduction to our field, let's say that the rotor is passing two pieces of steel very close together like this. What happens? We have an enormous amount of pull, right? We have a huge amount of pull, which is what you expect as the magnet's pulling against the iron. But we want to, as the magnet is actually crossing that threshold point, as it's coming to the exit point, we want that pull to go away. We want to lose that pull, right? How do we do that? Simple. We have what you would call an exit, where the two pieces of steel are actually shaped in the reverse part of a V shape, like this. This is hard to show you on the camera because I've got a light on. So we have the back end of an arrow. What happens at the back end of an arrow? We are using the same magnet. We are sending a field from both the outside areas of the magnet, and it will push away from itself. Now, we can't do that very easily with these big pieces of steel because they're not coupled very well in the middle. So I'm going to use these little laminations that I recently have cut. Now what we do is we have an entry point which will be I'll have to draw this out actually, it's probably easier. We have what's basically a triangle, a three-pointed axis. Now I've got this V shape. Now this is our entry point where the two are touching. The two that are touching are our entry point, right, as it comes in, and the exit point is at the back end because it's repelling there. On the back end there, it's actually not pulling very much, it's actually repelling more. But at this end, it's pulling more on this end, much more. Where the two to come together, it's pulling a lot more there, and it's actually pushing a bit more on this end exit point. It's actually pushing a lot there. At this point here, right at this edge, there's hardly any pull whatsoever until I get to the middle, and then it starts to pull. And then when I get to this edge, it's pulling even more. So, let's draw that out on a piece of paper. I hope this camera doesn't die on me. I'm moving things around a bit here. Let's draw this out, making it a bit easy to see what we're looking at. It would be better if I got I'm using an envelope. Let's get a proper sheet of paper a minute. I think this will do. Make it a lot easier to explain it. Right. So we know that when you have a magnet and you put one piece of steel, no problem. Put two pieces of steel, one doesn't want to be attracted to the other. One or the other will stay standing. If we get them far enough apart, you can probably get them to just sit there, but they're shaped like a V because they're pushing away from each other. Now, we use that advantage, that deflection, for our exit strategy. So here's our magnet. Right. So we have our pieces of lamination or steel coming in. And we have another piece there. This is our entry point. We don't really need three actually, but now for our exit point, we will have something like this. Actually, I think the middle one is probably a bad idea, to be honest with you. Start again. Our magnet. Let's just have two. And we have an exit point. Now, the magnet is in the background. These are actually, the magnet is moving in this direction. Okay, but these laminations are stationary, so what we have, I'm using the wrong pen actually. I need to find my other pen, because it's just a bit dark really. I suppose it's alright for you, I suppose you can see it alright, but I don't know where I put my other pen actually. Oh well, I'll just carry on. Right, it's just that. Now, so let's do a time lapse, if you like. So we've got our magnet. This is in one position. Then we have our other magnet in the second position. Then our magnet in the third position. Right. So the laminations basically, or a steel coupling is basically something like this. Right? It's shaped like an arrow, or 3 points. So the magnet approaches, and this is where it's exiting at this point. So it's approaching here. This is actually pulling on this magnet quite a lot here. But on this side, it's actually being pushed away. So the magnet is actually accelerating away. So that is what we need for our piece of iron to exit a rotary system with minimal amount of force. Right. Now that's it for now.